for attracting or manifesting, which they call manifesting. Careful with that word. So it's basically creating things in the field. And then finding stillness is when it comes and the universe now feels that and brings it into reality. If you're just manifesting, you're forcing. You cannot bring it into reality without stillness. There's two types of meditation. One meditation when we do stuff, and then the other meditation is where you find stillness. Stillness is not moving your awareness anywhere. It's being at one space. You can focus between the eyebrows or focus at your heart or something like that, and you just be still in that space. In that stillness, how many of you came into a stillness, a void of emptiness? Literally, you saw emptiness. There was no thoughts there. There was nothing. Your awareness was expanding and expanding and expanding, but there is nothing within it. The sensations even of the body kind of just disappeared, and you're just in an empty void. So that is the other part of meditation. So you have the active meditation and you have the stillness meditation. It is the masculine and the feminine too. So it's left and right hemisphere, and it's one is the part is when we're doing stuff is the part that you can utilize for creativity, for attracting or manifesting, which they call manifesting. Careful with that word. So it's basically creating things in the field. And then finding stillness is when it comes and the universe now feels that and brings it into reality. If you're just manifesting, you're forcing. You cannot bring it into reality without stillness, because we have to understand the dynamic of energy flow between those two concepts. So one, let's say you have a business idea or you're doing something, you first energetically have to create that pathway, visualize it, and create the energy for it. As you start now acting upon it, you'll have obstacles in life. Those obstacles are showing you still that you have fears to get to the end result. Then the stillness meditation is when you bring the idea into stillness. That's when the universe will bring it to you, because the universe now sees it from the stillness, and your magnetic field will start to pick it up. So now it becomes the attraction part. So there is those two parts of meditation, but the stillness meditation is what dissipates the ego mind, illusions, because everything else is attachments. We create illusions for ourselves, and we say, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I think, this is what I believe, this is what my mom told me, this is what my society told me, and all of those are illusionary veils. And in the stillness, they dissipate. So the black hole is our heart, actually. So there was a question, I thought there was no there was no emptiness in space anywhere. And that's what even scientists now saw, and that the black hole is somehow creating life on the other side. So same thing with our hearts. There's a small dot there that they're saying that the pulsation of the heart is actually being originated from that emptiness, that void. And the heart is much more powerful than the mind to create, because the heart connects to the higher mind, and the higher mind knows what you need to manifest on, because the higher mind does not manifest. The ego mind does. The higher mind aligns you to the timeline where you already exist at that perfection. Because we are so bombarded with social media and everything else, we see other things and we want to have what others have instead of what we need to have for ourselves. So our eyes are constantly being fed with illusion, and that illusion becomes overlapping of the higher mind's desired timeline for you to experience. So when you say, "Oh, I have manifested this so quickly," you did not manifest it. You jumped into a timeline that your higher self said is available for you, because each individual is special in their own way. So each individual came to experience a different frequency, which they have to attune to and become the tone of that frequency. But in order to do that, we have to go through the false belief systems that we have created for ourselves from childhood. So the fears that are coming up, the illusions that are coming up of how things should be, I will do this, I won't do that, all of them have to dissipate. And in the void, that's when we break them. Because now the mind is surrendering to the heart. I mean, you can feel how peaceful everybody was when came back from the meditation. So if you feel your mind again, come back again to that space. Even right now, close your eyes for a second. Come back into that center void. Ask yourself to come back into that void. It becomes easier and easier every time. Perfect. It is always coming back to source. As soon as you have some desires, wants, needs, expectations, uh, right away come back to the source. Are you coming out of the personality, or are you coming out of the divine intuitive aspect? And once you constantly come back and redirect yourself to the source, you will feel the difference between your intuition and the personality wanting things. So the personality will start to melt away and become the higher mind, where the higher mind and the personality will merge. Most of your intuition will become an inner knowing, because you have held that space for such a long period of time. You won't know the difference between your intuition and your mind, because they have merged. Because now the little ego mind is obeying the higher thought process, or the higher self. And therefore, it will lead with the heart. Because the heart does not have structures, does not have rules. It utilizes all timelines and dimensions at the same time. So the heart is flexible. The mind says, okay, I need to do this A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. These are the rules, and that's how I'm going to work. The heart says, okay, we'll start with A, but then it will jump to G and then go back to B, because it doesn't have rules. The rules are flexible, interchangeable, contradicting, but the mind is taught from school, from childhood, it needs to follow rules. 2 plus 2 is 4, and that is it. So we have to kind of utilize that aspect in the physical reality when we're doing things, but yet in the spiritual aspect, we have to be flexible and apply that into your, let's say, even business, and you'll see how successful it will become as well.